Dr. Kyle with Project Wellness Company. One exercise that's super beneficial when we're dealing with the low back and pains in the low back, depending on what specifically we found, kind of our go-to exercise is what I call in the office a COBRA, or it could be referred to as like the Sphinx. Okay, what I'm going to have her do is I'm going to have Dr. Bailey come up onto her elbows here. Set them right underneath her shoulders. Now, when we get up into this position, okay, she doesn't need to, for low back issues, we don't necessarily need to come up onto our hands because that's going to induce way more of a curve into the low back than what I would want. The elbows are more than sufficient as far as this exercise and specifically what we're doing. Now, one thing that you want to watch, and it's sometimes hard to turn muscles off, but when she's in this position, the key is she wants to loosen her hamstrings and loosen her glutes. Because if those are still tight, it's not going to allow her hips and her low back to move. And so with this exercise, what I have her do is I'll have her take a nice deep breath in. And as she's letting that air out, what I want her to think about is pushing her belly button down to the table. What that's going to do is that's going to induce even more of a curve into that low back. And as she's thinking about that, that should allow her glutes and her hamstrings to relax enough to allow that curve to come into the low back. And then on this one, I'm going to have her take 10 nice big breaths in. She'll let them all the way out. All the while, we need to be focusing on not tightening these up, which is sometimes hard to turn those muscle groups off. But if we can focus on that, that's going to allow the low back to settle in where it's supposed to be. It's going to reinforce the discs to be in the position that they're supposed to be, and ultimately working to get a curve to come back into that low back, allowing that all to relax and everything to normalize in our low back to help get rid of the pains that would be associated with dysfunction down in that low back. So once she's done 10 of those exercises, I'll have her go flat for me, go back down. Okay. Have her relax, take another 3, 4, 5 deep breaths in just to kind of let this all settle in. And then what she would do is she would repeat this exercise 3 to 5 times.